Well, privyet! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, comrades of all ages. My name is DB333 and welcome back to Hearts of Iron IV, the New World Last Days Europe as the Soviet Federation of Western Russia. Last video, we finished up some economic stuff. We finished up some scientific research projects, but I have no real idea what they were really talking about, but we gave them a shot anyway, and we're working on our grand vision for the world. It's very ambitious, and I think it's going great, personally. So yeah, here we go. Let's get back to it. Transpolar diplomacy. The nuke expedition. In most ordinary circumstances, the OFN would be our greatest adversary. The U.S. has long established itself the vanguard of predatory capitalism, staunchly opposed to a socialist cause in every way imaginable. These are, however, not ordinary circumstances. The black tide of Hitlerism has washed over Europe, leaving only a path of death and destruction. Even the Soviet Union was not spared from the aggression of the fascists, and now our very heartland lies at their mercy. We will need allies if we are to overcome this threat. The OFN are the only international alliance who share this goal. A message shall be sent to the OFN in good faith, requesting their diplomatic recognition. With luck, this agreement shall be the first step towards further cooperation, even if we are hesitant to work too closely with these capitalists. There we are. Lyndon Big Dick Johnson. Lyndon Boring America Game Johnson. Abstract. Over the past 3 months, we've designed and tested 4 prototypes of the Ekranoplan to no avail. Various measurements of different airframes and payload yield no results. Modern weaponry deemed too heavy for liftoff. Fortunately, 2 weeks ago, Senior Engineer, redacted, who I would like to recommend for promotion, offered a blueprint patched together from existing naval bombers and helicopter designs. Emphasis was placed on fuel efficiency and radar immunity. We adopted his designs and constructed a prototype. The project was tested off the coast of Arkhangelsk. 4 pilots maneuvered the vehicle at speeds ranging from unknown miles per hour, but almost crashed upon braking speed unknown. A few fixes later, most weaponry was removed. Most mounted payloads, including heavy machine guns and experimental point defense installations, were deemed too heavy. The remaining component was a torpedo bay loaded with 4 units. Another test commenced, where the pilots were told to sink a fishing boat on the same coast. The experiment was a success, but 3 torpedoes missed the mark. The pilots reported the aircraft is difficult to handle, too fast to properly maneuver, and lacking in proper weaponry. Conclusion: it's impossible to add on more weapon components with our current technology. The craft we have now, while workable, is not yet efficient in combat. More testing to follow. At least it looks nice. So what do we have? Anti-aircraft. Bombers. Tests into the weaponization and deployment of high-yield lasers as anti-aircraft and electronic warfare means shall be implemented on a land-based mobile and stationary platform. The projected platform shall make use of artificial rubies as laser focusing mechanism and be capable of targeting and rapidly destroying the electronics of enemy vehicles. Yeah! Fucking lasers, let's do it. We got some unassigned divisions, or unassigned division, I should say. Let's get a new general. Kukulov. Seems like a smart cookie. We'll get some offensive lines planned out for that. Now I'm getting the effects from the civilian budget boost. Feels bad. But let's get that back up and running. Arkhangelsk. Coming along quite nicely. We're even getting working on Tchaikovsky. Some good civilian infrastructure going. Oh god, now we're going to try to start the Sochan turn after? That's going to be complicated. Let's get the Kazan Military Academy, because that'll be a good one to get in the upcoming days. Kazan is home to one of 9 Suvorov schools that were created during the Bukharin era. These specialized boarding schools were intended to provide young men with a secondary military-focused education, and as such, many of the Red Army's officers started their careers in these schools. Ever since the unfortunate collapse of the Soviet Union, however, the school in Kazan has gone mostly unused. We shall renovate this building and reopen a new institution in its place, the Kazan Military Academy. Rather than being intended for secondary education, the new academy will create with the express purpose of training new officers for the Red Army. Once Kazan's academy has been reestablished, we can begin creating the next generation of the Red Army's officer corps. That works for me. Can prepare the Vorkuta border. Where is it? Oh yeah, prepare for war. Let's get some air bases, actually. Let's see who will stand tall in the end. We need anti-air equipment, right. That'll be a big one. We're gonna need, in fact... I'll cut off all the tank production, because it looks like we're really gonna need to invest some more into anti-air. 3 groups of children were drafted from unknown. Group A consisted of 10 children ages 5 to 7. Group B consisted of 10 children ages 10 to 12. Group C consisted of 10 young adults aged 14 to 16. Over a 6-month period, they had been assigned to edit literature to read or hear, including War and Peace, but set during the Civil War, The Last of the Mohicans, with the Native Americans explicitly being an ideal communist society, The Legend of King Arthur, with the Round Table edited to be a Soviet that fights for the rights of the mud worker communists. All of the books have been modified by lead propagandists to represent Marxist principles as well as utilize modern terms and technical language. Results by group. Analysis revealed consistent changes in the children's behavior. Their minds have been permanently molded by revolutionary literature. They are more inclined to support our effort in the future. Group B. Analysis is inconclusive. Only a few subjects reshaped their worldview. Group C. Failed experiment. The young adults dismissed the literature in its entirety. Only 3 individuals thought it was entertaining and, quote, neat, but did not take it seriously. Conclusion, I believe that it is indeed possible to shape the minds of young children with altered literature. I have taken the liberty of requesting Redacted to edit existing films and songs with subliminal clips. We should retry this experiment with more subjects and focus on younger groups. Post-test, all children were returned to Redacted and their families compensated with extra rations. The next batch is standing by. Have them read the Komi tales as well. There we go. More communism support. That's always based. And I got someone emailing me their final. I should probably look at that after this. Let's do the Human Utopia Project. Isolated complex shall be erected, containing sufficient material conditions for an optimal quality of life. A population of Gulag prisoners, selected for an optimal sexual and racial ratio, shall be released into the complex, sufficient to excessive quantities of food, water, medicine, and clothing shall be provided. A wide variety of leisure activities shall be made available. No labor or coerced tasks shall be necessary. Social trends arising in this environment shall be closely monitored, as will general changes in the prisoner's demeanor and actions performed. Let's do it. Nothing will go wrong. I'm hoping. That sounds fun. There we go. We got some good stuff going there. Do cutting edge rifle. Petsamo and Gorky. We could secure the waters. That might be good. Yeah, let's secure the waters. With the expansion of our territory comes an unavoidable increase in the number of officers needed by the Red Army's general staff. This will not be too much of an issue, if not for the fact that the War Ministry is currently a chaotic mess, virtually unchanged from the days of the Komi Republic. This sorry state of affairs cannot be allowed to persist. The War Ministry must be reorganized from the ground up to better serve the needs of a considerably larger operations. With some extensive streamlining, it's believed that the chain of command will flow more smoothly. Generals will be able to receive any and all necessary information about combat readiness or battlefield connections at a moment's notice, enhancing their abilities to command our troops. We can prepare the Vorkuta border. I think we'll do that. Empower workers' organizations, industrial expertise increasing. It's not the worst idea. Equipment, how's that coming along? I think we just... I don't think we boosted that, actually. We can invest in some construction and some workers' organizations. I think we'll do both. And we'll leave it at that for now, I think. So we have... Let's delete these extra bullshit templates. I don't need any more. Reorganize the War Ministry. Okay. I have some units using that template. A little annoying. What are you going to do? Let's secure the waters. We were restricted to a landlocked status during the Komi Republic days, which meant there was little practical need for a naval force. The situation has changed dramatically, however. With access of the sea secured via the critical port of Arkhangelsk, the time has come to reorganize the beginnings of a new Red Fleet. While the port is frozen over during the winter, it is nonetheless the most important port west of the Urals that still remains in Russian hands. Our navy will be tasked with the protection of this port rather than the large-scale naval actions against our enemy fleets, so we do not have the capacity or need to build a large armada of ships. Makes sense. Let's see, what was this guy saying? War on the horizon. May the winner take it all. The loser standing tall. Besides the victory, there's the destiny. Let's just deploy all these guys while we're here. Hopefully they won't be horribly unprepared. We could do some land reform programs. I think we'll do that. Why not? A little extra boost to agriculture, better research facilities. Ships slide into the water across the cast of the White Sea. Though small, they represent a fundamental change in the military situation in the north. No longer will the coast of Russia be the domain of U-boats and Finnish patrols. No longer will they have free reign of everything beyond where the water laps in the shore. For we will rebuild the Northern Fleet. Once again, the Red Banner flies on the vessels that patrol the waves of the north. And any fascist who wishes to come through this passage finds his way blocked. The fascist pirates cannot escape the Marine Guards. There we go. What else? I guess the Scandinavian spear from now. Europe lies under a steel wall of fascism, but there are many ways to pierce this barrier if one knows where to look. Particularly our neighbors in Finland provide a convenient avenue for this purpose. Relations have not exactly been warm due to past tensions, but perhaps it's possible to reach common ground. We'll send a message to the Finns with a few polite requests. First, we will ask for diplomatic recognition to further cement ourselves as the legitimate Russian government. Secondly, access to the ports will be requested, though we control ports of our own, and the fact remains that they are frozen over in the winter months and have no access to the Baltic whatsoever. Land access to Finland's territories would solve this issue quite handily. There we go. I think we'll send some planes over here and over to here. Send them over there. I believe this is our early fighters. And a new air wing of early Cass. And get ready to push into the Trans-Urals. Well, there we go. Kemerovo versus these guys over there. Improving scientific research. Geez, this is just rough. I don't like the look of that at all. And there they go. They're starting to push in, but we are holding. Praise be. Not holding all the way. Actually, yeah. It looks bad in some areas, but for the most part... Yeah, let them exhaust themselves. Pin that guy there. Let's try... Are we good to get some pushes going? I don't know, maybe. Let's get some connections in England. Even the proud English people were not spared from the advance of Nazi Germany. Following the Second World War, German line government was imposed upon them. Luckily, it was not to last. The English have overthrown this illegitimate puppet regime and restored an independent state in bold defiance of the fascists. Their struggle is not over, however, and many international observers have considered the possibility that the Germans may soon retaliate to reestablish dominion over England. Should this happen, we shall stand with them in the form of military aid. If they stand to recognize our government, we shall begin to send them as many weapons and munitions as we can spare, which is probably not much. Let's do this little push in the south. Already doing a pretty solid job in that regard. Yeah. Facilitating budget boost. I think we'll get an additional boost to civilian spending as well as military spending. I think that's a very smart move. Yeah, these guys keep exerting themselves. We lost a little bit of progress in Berzniki, but that's far from the worst. Honestly, I can't think of many worse fates. We captured the Ural automotive plant. These guys keep exerting themselves. We got the Zhdanov arms plant as well. Huge. Very nice. We're weakening them right off the bat. I'll stop on these attacks. You guys chill out. And we'll wait to get a bit more supply. Let them exert themselves a bit more. Outdated equipment. Which equipment is outdated? Basic jet cast. That's fine. Let's swap on over. It looks like we need anti-air. Speaking of air, we're dominating the Trans-Urals, but that's not quite necessarily where we can make the biggest impact. Let's expand our operations out to Western Siberia, and it looks like we're doing well in both regards. Which is nice. It is. I like that. Research slot available. Let's get working towards improved jetcast. Know how the Red Army has fallen into a bunch of alcoholic Democrats. SMH my head. Civil war in Yemen, who'd have thunk it? Okay, now it seems they're making a few pushes back. Although we are making a pretty good push to reverse all that. Try to pick up some territory, gain some ground. Free England has agreed. Good news, everyone! Next, let's get some lines to Sweden. Sweden is one of the few European nations that has yet to fall under the sinister influence of Nazism, retaining their status as fully independent democracy. The neutrality during the Second World War may have been seen as some as cowardice, but in the end, it meant the complete preservation of our new sovereignty. Diplomacy with Swedes is paramount to our goal of establishing international relations, especially when one considers our proximity. A fully fledged diplomatic delegation is to be sent to Stockholm with the goal of requesting their diplomatic recognition. Should they accept, we will be one step closer to establishing our government as a legitimate entity. There we go. We're making some solid pushes overall. Our debt is almost gonna eclipse our GDP, but you know. Economy. That's all a capitalist invention. Debt. Sound economic decisions. Get the fuck out of here with that capitalist propaganda. We'll stop the pushes for now. Advanced artillery. I'd love to get the new artillery going, but right now we can't really. It's not the wisest move. We made the push through. Civilian construction. Yeah, these guys can keep launching themselves into us. Because right now we're doing great. Do we want to just deploy this off the bat? We maybe want. How do we get Nazi equipment? Zhdanov trembled with excitement as he presided over the beginning of an era. First collective consciousness experiment was about to begin, and with it the destiny of the world would be irrevocably transformed. Zhdanov's technological strides into the future would be a landmark scientific achievement of a century, if not the history of humanity. With the creation of collective consciousness, the man and woman would no longer be confined to their singular mortal coil. The knowledge of one could be the knowledge of many. The reality of ultravisionary socialism as the preeminent ideology of the globe could be spread through uplink rather than be debated and fought over. Taken aback by the possibilities, Zhdanov drifted into a dream unto itself, a dream of great monolithic structures floating and roaring through the astral plane. Clouds of electric mist, of deep purples and violets, surrounding the innovations of man, brotherhood of humanity, wielding their collective knowledge to construct a future unimaginable to the average man of today. A future beyond the boundaries of Earth, wherein ultravisionary socialism can reach the solar system and the nebulas beyond. A future where the witnessing of a quasar or black hole are as normal as receiving the Daily Mail. This is our next step forward. Activate the machinery. The collective conscious initiative begins now. Zhdanov spat out, anxious to see man rise to next level of scientific progress. Volunteers shook in fear, their hands and legs strapped to metal chairs, wiring drive into the back of their skulls. Lights flickered on and off. Alt-World Zhdanov leaned over a railing, eager to view the results of the initiative. The machines whirled, and the wires wriggled from the raw power flowing through them. 1, 2, 3. Initiate! The lights flashed, and the volunteers slouched over, their heads hanging between their knees. It worked, yes? I don't think it worked. But hey, that's okay, because now it's time for Operation Rainbow Body, a comprehensive series of studies into extrasensory perception aided by the psychoactive drugs shall be completed, with the goal of locating German military emplacements remotely. Brain scans shall be performed of subjects claiming to be capable of extrasensory perception. Tests performed shall be verified by conventional reconnaissance aircraft. German military emplacements located and verified by subjects shall be logged and reported to the armed forces. Additionally, research into affecting the world remotely through extrasensory perception shall be executed, with subjects capable of entering a transcendental state ordered to perform remote physical tasks on Army proving grounds. There we go. I think with this, we might be good at, yeah. Let's get working on these little pushes. It's going pretty well, actually. I'm impressed. We might be able to move to here. To a nation formerly known as Sverdlovsk. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, the Communist International that it had established fallen into relevance, and eventually became defunct altogether. We must rekindle the flame and create a new entity for encouraging global cooperation. A new Socialist International has been proposed. Like the Comintern that came before it, the Socintern, it's the same thing that Yagoda came up with, but we'll give it a shot. Ours is going to be better because it has lasers and shit. Success with Sweden, excellent. Actually, just says apply to join. I'm pretty sure we're already in. Can we, yeah, we'll push over. We can actually invade into here. And then quickly. We've taken Sverdlovsk, boys. Excellent. Oh, we're about to get encirclement off? Cease most of those attacks. Pog! There we go. Take them out. Unassigned divisions. Get those guys in. Oh yeah, we're doing way better than them. Beautiful. Oh. Whew. Let's do some poverty relief programs. Here we go, push into Tumen. Lenin's body captured. Probably just preserve a revolutionary whenever we get the chance to. It's all coming along. Let's condemn reactionary imperialism. The imperialism of the capitalist and fascist powers of the world truly knows no bounds. Greatest of all among the imperial powers of the world is the German Reich, whose conquests have spanned from Africa to Moscow to the formerly spotless seas of Luna. Their reckless genocidal madness has encroached the territories of the USSR and imposed brutal, regressive tyranny upon a formerly liberated society. This shall not stand. We compose a message directly to Germany, condemning their aggressive nature and their horrific imperialism. While you do not expect a reply, to inform them of their inevitable fate is the greatest mercy that we are willing to avoid the reactionary invader. And we'll ease off on some of those attacks. They've accepted our application. That's nice. Let's edit. We'll go ahead and edit this down so it's more of a... That's the wrong one I meant to edit. That's embarrassing. This is more what I meant to do. There we go. Alright, well, we got that little oopsie figured out before it became a big problem. Do a few pushes. Tokyo standoff. The AI could move back into these territories if they really wanted to. I think it's just the HoI 4 AI being the HoI 4 AI right now. And so I think this will afford us to be able to push in an attack on a different angle. I think we'll up the speed real quick just to, Ho Chi Minh is dead. Chill out on that. Move into a Shim. Or not. I guess that's cool too. Let's preserve a revolutionary, get some political power and some stability. Bit of bonus to off social support as well. Let's contest the Aether. We still remember the dark months spent in the shadow of the fascist terror bombing campaigns. Our only source of salvation was the brave exploits of the free aviators, but even they could not be everywhere at once. The situation in West Russia has stabilized for the time being. We must learn to stand on our own 2 feet in case Luftwaffe returns to our skies. The use of aircraft is nothing new to us, but without a proper military wing of their own, the potential of our wings is needlessly limited. Therefore, an independent air aim of the military, the Red Air Force, shall be created. To aid with the establishment of this new force, we shall expand key air bases under our control to house more aircraft, begin development of modern aircraft to help dominate the skies. And we didn't even mean to take that, but they're just falling apart so badly that we helped them. Honestly, we could just probably just push right now, and I think we're good. Yeah, we've taken a lot of their industrial heartland right about now. And so they really, ultimately, don't have much to build and resupply. I want to check over here. Fucking Jesus. Did not want to fight against fucking Kemerovo. Again. Oh, we overran some troops. Excellent. It's going excellent. Solid ratios, I'll take those. Let's do a cutting-edge rifle. The AK-47 is a truly remarkable battle rifle, capable of firing rifle-sized cartridges at 600 RPM. The Kalashnikov has gained a legendary reputation for reliability. The rifle can survive a tremendous level of punishment. It's able to survive in even the hardiest conditions, without encountering any sort of problems. Top of this, it's easy to maintain and relatively simple to manufacture. Said you cannot improve perfection, but whoever coined that phrase has obviously never met a Russian weapons designer. We shall begin trials with a variety of new and revolutionary designs submitted by our finest visionaries and weapons designers. The key to defeating Germany may very well be a cutting-edge rifle. Yeah, God, look at all this. Oh. more of an implosion in on themselves. Take him out. There we go. Take his shim. That honestly might be all we need. I'm surprised if they can make... Yep. You got the gulags. And sometimes great men do awful things. What can we say? Okay, we can finally go ahead and reintegrate Orsk. I was about to say. Socialist International. I think Zlatost is probably the best one to integrate, so we'll start off with that. Then we'll go from there. Russian reunification. There we go, the United Soviet Federation. I might have wanted to say, wait for that new focus, but what are you going to do? And let's take a look at all this. Glory to the ones who look forward. Not bad, not bad at all. I love the new science, the new, whew, that looks neat. Let's move towards the march of revolutionary progress. For years we've struggled under the reign of the counter-revolutionary Luddite, who find comfort in the darkness of ignorance. Yet now, years after Russia's collapse into a dark age of ignorance, we stand upon the brink of a new era, marching onward into the light. No more shall the reactionaries keep us chained to infighting and petty warlordism. We shall craft a new Russia from the ashes of the old, ascending to achieve the Soviet superculture. The antiquated democracy and dictatorships shall melt away before the grandeur of ultra-visionary socialism, the only true path forward for our nation and our species. First, however, we must prepare for the push to retake Siberia from the aggressives who claim to be the rightful leaders of Russia. That works for me. Let's exert influence in Kazakhstan. And by exert influence, I mean prepare to invade. Yep, Kingdom of Siberia, an end to wonders. There we go. Let's get those new fighters up and running. I believe we have some new artillery to implement. There we go. And some improved jet close air support. There we go. The March of Revolutionary Progress. Research facilities. Let's get working on research facilities. Expand the people's commissariat of science. The superculture cannot be founded upon the ignorance fostered by division and factionalism. We must pool the sum total of our knowledge into one body. Every academic and learned man must contribute to our goals. To better coordinate this effort, we will increase funding and expand the duties of the People's Commissariat of Science, maximizing our scientific potential and invigorating our technological capacity. Andrei Zhdanov sometimes found the smiling, genial socialist he'd once been almost alien, a thorough stranger compared to the man he was now. As the Federation had grown in complexity and size, so too it has administrative functions. Until it seemed like half his job was scheduled meetings for the right people to meet each other and get things done for him. The other half, however, Zhdanov smiled. The other half of his job made it all worth it. The old dream he'd hidden was coming into view. and gluts of weekly reports from scientists. The limits of a human mind were being stretched into new shapes and patterns. Even where his ideals had failed, they had given so much information in the bargain that he couldn't say they'd been failures at all. Soon the new socialist man would rise like titans from the deep. Supermen, ready to rebuild the shattered nation, bring the proletariat and humanity to where they'd always dreamt of going. The stars. And the machines on which they would ride were coming into being, too. As the testing initiative grew ever more expansive, their tests blossomed into fruition, too. Forget about the military applications, he'd always told the generals. The wonder is enough. And the wonder is enough experience, as he'd read about the test flights he couldn't watch personally, was like a man watching the summer stars, dreaming of taking flight. Like a scene in a dream. Nodding quietly, Zhdanov rummaged around his study and began a new series of scribblings in a well-worn leather notebook. Frowning, he scrapped the first draft he'd drawn and began a new one. This one was far more complex than the first. Notes to self-referential articles abounded, with them actual scientific reports, but in the center were 3 clear draw and outline words. Circled repeatedly as with a child's drawing. They read, "Moving towards superculture?" ? Let's integrate Sverdlovsk and Tyumen and Omsk. Fair an offensive line into Kazakhstan. What have these guys got in the way of army? 26 to 53. So we about match them. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. No. We'll get working on another unit. Another army group. From here, let's get unity and vision. It will be many years before the Paramount Leader's ultimate vision of a spacefaring multi-species collective is fulfilled, but we are closer than ever to that goal. However, before we take our rightful place amongst the stars, we must first deal with earthly matters. Great swaths of our territory are still controlled by rival governments. Preventing the industrialization, we need to fund our future and denying those under their rule to participate in the grand collective we are assembling. But even worse, the Germans have returned their stolen lands to a state of regressive oppression, forcing the people of Moscovian into a stagnant and repressive hierarchy. We must put an end to their misdeeds and incorporate the people of that territory into the superculture. To do that, we must restore our control of Siberia's resources. There we go. Night vision, let's do it. Mamma mia. Hey! 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 Hot Ottomans. See, who do they end up going with again? Fanfari, conservative democracy. Looks like they're not doing too hot. I would have gone with Aldo Mori personally, but that's just me. Unity and ideology. To succeed in our goals, Russia must be totally united, not just in geography, but aligned on the principles of a new Soviet state. Achievement of a superculture requires a complete alignment of the citizenry on all fronts, so that we might transcend our earthly bonds. To facilitate the process of cultural conversion, we prepared a new version of a great Soviet encyclopedia in line with the principles outlined by the Paramount Leader to elucidate the values of ultra-visionary socialism. This will ensure that every citizen is mentally prepared for the creation of an intersolar nation. Yeah. Our objectives, insofar as pertains Russia, are clear. We were tasked with the preservation of the motherland, and we failed. We swore to ourselves to expel the Germans from Moscow, to push them all the way back to Berlin, and in this too we failed. But we now have something that no one else in the Shattered Union has. The ultra-visionary immortal science. The Bukharinist and the Red Juntas fumbled half-blind in the search of progress, and the fascist and monarchists and bourgeois pseudo-democrats stumbled fully blind into this error. We know that our course is true. Our people are our benchmark, and the sons of Marxism our guide. But a man looking towards the stars will never be content with the things of earth alone. We speak often of re-engineering the economy, of building a fairer and better way of life for all through the scientific control of goods production. We also speak of rebuilding society, of tearing down the walls between man and woman, between worker and politician that separate us from each other. But to do this alone is not sufficient. I now believe, comrades, that we must re-engineer the human heart itself. That just as a patient farmer year after year nudges his crops to greater fecundity, we too can create a bumper harvest in the Soviet youth and the generations after them. We know that the Marxist dialect dictates a struggle in the mind. We know how to condition these struggles to tilt one way or the other, so that the future of the Soviet mass consciousness leans ever more towards greater unity. This is our future, comrades, not a world consumed by the struggle against fascist reactionism or fear of its inevitability. A world where the very thought of it is impossible. Understood. And with that, I'm going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content feature, hit the sub button for all episodes every weekday, as well as every Saturday. If you have any comments, feedback, concern, anything of the sort, leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get. Appreciate any feedback you might have for me. If you want to chat, play games, anything of the sort, check out my Discord if you want to send feedback to me every month. I have a Patreon. If you want to see me do sort of live, I have a Twitch. All of which are down in the description box below. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been DB333. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.